Standing in a secluded area, Prince Arnold tracks a creature preparing to begin his hunt. His quiet moment is interrupted when his butler, Sebas, materializes nearby and requests that the prince return to the castle immediately. He delivers grave news. General Dominic has perished. When Arnold asks if the general was assassinated, Sebas admits details are scarce, but doubts anyone will make a serious effort to find the killer. Arnold decides to quickly complete his guild request before making his return. Sebas questions why Arnold remains in his current disguise when there is no one else around to see him. Arnold explains that he cannot risk anyone discovering that a prince is pretending to be a common adventurer. Sebas begs him to refrain from such risky behavior, but Arnold notes that everyone calls him the insipid prince anyway, because his talented younger brother inherited all of their family's gifts. He insists that right now, he is Silver, one of the legendary SS-class adventurers. At the capital branch of the Adventurers Guild, the surrounding crowd gasps in awe when Silver presents a massive King Minotaur horn, amazed that he harvested it entirely on his own. The receptionist praises his incredible work and hands over the hefty bounty. Slipping into a quiet alleyway, Arnold sheds his magical disguise and remarks that it is time for the dull prince to resume his activities. Later, Arnold meets with his younger twin brother, Leonard. Arnold notes that he heard their old supporter is dead, and Leonard admits the general was targeted because of his loyalty to their faction. Arnold commends his brother's ability to win allies and speculates if the hit was ordered by their siblings. Leonard admits he has no idea. When Arnold asks what he plans to do, Leonard confesses he has no desire to fight within their own family. Arnold warns him that if he refuses to join the struggle for the throne, only death awaits them and their mother. He urges Leonard to make a firm choice. Leonard finally resolves to fight, and Arnold happily promises to cooperate. Leonard asks what Arnold plans to do next. Arnold explains he will search for allies, though he warns his brother not to expect too much since almost all powerful nobles are already aligned with the top 3 factions. Leonard thanks him, admitting he believes Arnold is better suited to be the emperor. Arnold laughs off the suggestion, stating he intends to live a comfortable life of leisure with a beautiful wife. He insists he needs Leonard to secure the crown to make his dream possible. Later, Sebas asks Arnold why he refuses to simply reveal his identity as Silver to help Leonard's cause. Arnold declines, explaining that ancient magic has been a royal taboo for a long time. Because Arnold utilizes that forbidden magic, any public connection to Silver would ruin Leonard's campaign. Then, Arnold asks if any powerful duke families remain unaligned in the throne war. Sebas identifies the Kleinert household as the sole neutral faction. Arnold notes that such a prominent family must have a compelling reason to stay silent. Sebas explains that their territory is currently being plagued by monsters that they cannot find a way to defeat. Arnold proposes a plan. They can claim Leonard dispatch Silver to solve their crisis, putting the Duke's family in their debt. Sebas warns that Duke Kleinert might become suspicious of Leonard's immense influence if he can mobilize an SS-class adventurer. Arnold remains unfazed, arguing that making their enemies wary is a positive outcome. He decides to visit the Duke under his Silver persona to initiate the plan. Sebas warns him about the Duke's famously beautiful daughter, urging him not to be swayed by her charms. Arnold teleports directly to the Kleinert mansion gates as Silver and requests an audience with the Duke. The guard at the entrance scoffs, refusing to believe he is the legendary Silver and dismissing him as a prankster. He refuses to even check his adventurer card, ordering him to leave. Before departing, Silver catches a glimpse of a beautiful young woman looking out from a window, but tells himself he has no time to admire her beauty. Silver returns to Sebas, who is surprised by his fast return. Arnold announces they are heading to the Kleinert territory immediately. Sebas asks why, and Arnold explains that while Silver was just turned away, this time Prince Arnold will make an official visit, leaving the Duke no choice but to beg Leonard for help. 5 days later, Prince Arnold arrives at the Kleinert estate. The Duke asks what brings the prince to his domain. Arnold states he is there to discuss compensation. He explains that while Leonard did not want things to go this way, the Duke must assist Leonard if he has any gratitude. The Duke questions what gratitude he owes. Arnold accuses him of playing dumb, pointing out that Leonard offered a massive favor by deploying the SS-class adventurer Silver to help them with their monster problem. The Duke is stunned to hear the name Silver. Arnold explains that Leonard arranged for Silver's help, even utilizing lost teleportation magic. Sebas steps in, suggesting that the Duke seems truly unaware of these events and needs time to investigate. Arnold agrees to grant him a temporary reprieve. Sometime after the Duke leaves, they hear him shouting furiously outside, berating his foolish son for nearly destroying their family. The Duke enters the room with his son and apologizes. He explains that Silver did indeed arrive 5 days ago, but his idiot son turned him away. The son defensively argues that nobody expects an SS-class adventurer to show up unannounced and claims he thought Silver was an imposter. The Duke angrily silences him, pointing out that he should have verified Silver's adventurer card. Arnold coldly tells the Duke that a child's failure reflects on the parent. Desperate, the Duke offers his own life as an apology. Arnold rejects his head as well as his son's, and Sebas suggests they must offer something else of equal value. As Arnold ponders what could satisfy both families, the Duke's daughter, Fine, enters the room. She offers herself to the prince to save her father and brother. The Duke protests, but Fine explains she saw Silver that day and feels equally responsible. Sebas suggests dealing with the matter quietly, pointing out that Silver is a loyal man who will not abandon an accepted quest. Ultimately, Arnold agrees to talk to Silver if the Duke's family can find him. In an elaborate trick, Arnold uses illusion magic to project a false image of Silver in the room alongside his real self. Arnold pretends to speak with Silver, expressing surprise that the adventurer is still in the domain. The illusion of Silver mocks Arnold as an insipid prince who is a far cry from his talented brother. Fine introduces herself and apologizes deeply for her family's insolence. Silver tells her that apologies are unnecessary, but notes that the Kleinert family's stellar reputation seems exaggerated if they turn away travelers while suffering from monsters. Fine humbly accepts the criticism. Arnold asks if Silver will resume the quest. Silver says he will only do so if the Duke's family promises their full support to Prince Leonard. Fine gratefully promises they will not let him down. After the meeting, Arnold rides in a carriage with Fine. Fine thanks Arnold for bowing his head to Silver for the sake of her family's subjects, admitting she previously misunderstood him as a terrifying person. Arnold insists he only did it for his own benefit. Fine smiles, saying she will happily keep her positive misunderstanding of him. Later, they arrive at the monster site. Sebas notes that a party of high-class adventurers already failed to clear the multiplying slimes. Arnold explains that while individual slimes are weak, the mother slime will keep producing them until he destroys the source. They meet the adventurers, led by an A-class leader named Abel. Silver asks if they can handle the situation. The party members admit the mother slime has grown too large and they lack the firepower to deliver a fatal blow. Silver offers to report to the guild for an emergency quest if they insist on keeping him out, but urges them to let him handle it. Abel reluctantly yields, and Silver praises their brave defense efforts. Silver then chants an ancient spell, unleashing a massive attack called Execution Prominence. The spell vaporizes all the slimes and the mother slime in an instant. Abel is amazed and calls him a hero, but Silver dismisses the title and asks Abel to file the report before leaving. Arnold teleports back to his private room in the estate, which is marked with a sign telling others to keep out. He removes his silver mask, only to turn around and find Fine standing in the room. She looks at him in utter shock, uttering his name in disbelief. Trying to salvage the situation, Arnold asks why she entered his room in the first place. Fine explains that she brought some snacks for him, and since he was not there, she simply intended to leave them on his desk. Recognizing the danger of his situation, Arnold tells her that now that she knows his secret, he cannot allow her to leave. Fine promises that she will not tell a soul that the legendary adventurer Silver is actually Prince Arnold. Arnold questions if she is worried that he might do something to her, such as silencing her by force. Fine smiles and says he would never do such a thing, adding that even if he did, it would only be out of necessity, so she would willingly accept it. Bewildered, Arnold admits he does not remember winning her trust to such an extreme extent. Fine asks if his return means he already defeated the troublesome monsters, calling him a true hero who saved their domain. She has pieced together the clues from his earlier conversation with Silver and realizes he has been putting on an elaborate act all this time, even letting people call him the insipid prince just to support Prince Leonard. This selflessness is why she trusts him, believing he must be a kind person at heart. Arnold sighs, lamenting that after keeping his identity hidden for so long, he was finally exposed. To cheer him up, Fine nervously offers him the sweets she brought and promises to brew some tea. That night, Duke Kleinert thanks Arnold deeply, but Arnold tells him to thank Leonard instead, as his brother was the one who wanted both him and Silver to help. The Duke pledges that the Kleinert household will support Prince Leonard's bid for the throne in return for his life-saving help. Arnold notes that with this alliance, Leonard has established himself as the fourth major force in the Empire, alongside his sister and two older brothers. The Duke asks if they are short on trustworthy men, and Arnold admits they do not have nearly enough people since many powerful nobles are still staying on the sidelines. The Duke smiles in relief and reveals he has someone in mind. his daughter. He explains that he was shocked when Finna approached him yesterday, insisting on going with Arnold to repay their family debt. The following morning, Finna bids farewell to her father and brother, promising to do good things and take care of herself. Soon, Finn and Arnold are riding in a carriage together. Finn admits she is still inexperienced, but looks forward to working for him. Arnold warns her that the historical struggle for the imperial throne has caused endless bloodshed, telling her that this is her last chance to back out. Finny insists she understands the risks, but truly wants to be of use to him. 5 days later, Leonard meets with Arnold. Leonard admits he knew Arnold was well connected, but had no idea he was close with an SS-class adventurer like Silver. Arnold apologizes for acting without his prior approval, but Leonard reassures him it is fine since Arnold clearly knew what he was doing. Arnold explains that Silver fulfilled his promise, making him worthy of some trust, though they must remain cautious since they still do not know his true motives. Leonard agrees, though he happily notes that the Duke is now on their side because of Silver's actions, proving the adventurer is a good person. When Leonard asks about the representative sent by the Kleinert family, Finna enters the room and introduces herself, expressing her excitement to be of service. Leonard welcomes her and says he is relieved to see she is just as gentle as Arnold described. When Leonard asks how they should utilize Finn's help, Arnold suggests placing her in a negotiating role. He plans to have her visit their estate frequently, so the public realizes the prestigious Kleinert family has officially aligned with Leonard. Finny eagerly promises to do her best, but confesses she is unfamiliar with the inner workings of the palace and asks for more details about their 3 rivals. Arnold obliges, outlining the 3 contenders for the throne. First is the 28-year-old second Prince Eric, a brilliant strategist who controls the empire's bureaucracy. Next is third Prince Gordon, 26, who commands the strongest military faction and personally leads troops on the battlefield. Finally, there is 22-year-old second Princess Xandra, a prodigy whose extraordinary magical gifts have made her beloved by mages across the empire. Leonard explains that the fight began 3 years ago, and Arnold quietly adds that it started ever since their eldest brother, Wilhelm, tragically died in battle. Then, a maid enters the room and hands Leonard a note. Reading it, Leonard reveals that Duke Zyfrit has aligned with Princess Xandra, while Duke Paulman has backed Prince Gordon. Arnold guesses they were bought out with massive sums of money, and Leonard confirms they are backed by powerful merchant groups, making it impossible for their faction to compete financially. Arnold admits they are far behind, but Leonard remains positive, pointing out they have successfully gained the prestigious Kleinert family and the famous Lady Finn. 2 days later, Finny approaches Arnold and asks him to show her around the royal capital. Arnold hesitates, pointing out that her famous face will draw unwanted attention. Finn proudly reveals a simple disguise. Arnold admits the disguise will keep her from being noticed, but suspiciously asks whose idea it was. Finn reveals that Sebas suggested it. Arnold looks around in annoyance, wondering why Sebas is conveniently absent when he needs him. Giving in, he agrees to take her, but warns that they will return the moment he decides it is time to go home. Finn happily agrees and thanks him. Out in the busy streets, Finn marvels at the sights and points to a shop, asking what it is. Arnold explains that they appraise weapons and magical equipment to help adventurers sell their gear for higher prices. They continue their walk, and Arnold points out a tall structure used as a training ground for the Imperial soldiers. Later, they sit down to eat some simple sandwiches. Arnold asks if such cheap food is even appetizing to a high-born noble like her, but Finny assures him it is delicious. Arnold smiles, mentioning that he used to sneak out of the palace to play with the local city children. Finn expresses her envy, admitting she had very few childhood friends. Arnold reassures her that she will make plenty of friends from now on, explaining that the world is full of both good and bad people, and she just needs to find the ones she can truly trust. He tells her that time does not matter when it comes to true friendship. Deeply moved, Finna says she will take his advice to heart. Suddenly, a group of playing children accidentally hits Finna with a water balloon. The children quickly apologize, and a soaking wet Finna assures them it is fine. Arnold then notices that the water has made her blouse translucent, revealing her bra. To save her from embarrassment, Arnold quickly takes her to a nearby clothing shop. Inside, a flustered Finn asks what she should change into, telling him to pick whatever he likes. Arnold points out a lovely dress on display, and Finna happily tries it on. When she steps out, Arnold compliments her new look. The shop owner smiles and tells the young couple to enjoy the rest of their date. Finna blushes at the word date, while Arnold quickly explains he is merely showing her around the capital and tells the owner not to get the wrong idea. The owner chuckles, stating that whenever two young people go out together like this, it is a date, regardless of the purpose. After visiting the rest of the interesting spots in the city, Arnold decides it is time to head home. Finn agrees but begs to stop by a local bakery first. Arnold tells her not to be too long. While he waits, a noble named Guido approaches him. Guido sneers at Arnold, calling him the insipid prince and mocking his shabby face. Arnold calmly greets him, but Guido takes offense to his relaxed attitude, threatening to strike him and claiming no one would care because Arnold lacks the dignity of royalty. Arnold points out that Leonard has become quite famous lately, making Arnold more recognizable as his twin, but Guido yells that Arnold is not Leonard and does not possess the demeanor of the royal family. Finne suddenly arrives and angrily demands to know what is going on, scolding Guido for his insolence. Guido scoffs and asks if she is Arnold's servant. Finne then removes her disguise, revealing her identity. Guido is instantly stunned. Finne questions his lack of loyalty to the royal family and asks if he truly thinks she would walk alongside someone like Prince Arnold. Catching her clever cue, Arnold quickly fixes his hair and alters his posture to perfectly mimic his twin brother. He tells Guido that he was only pretending to be his inept brother because she wanted to avoid public rumors. Guido stammers an excuse, but Arnold calmly tells him he is well aware of how Guido treats his brother. He promises not to take action unless his brother demands it, but sternly orders Guido to leave. Guido quickly flees with his entourage. Once they are alone, Arnold tells Finne that she botched her attempt to help. Arnold explains that Guido's reputation would have simply suffered if she had let him talk, but now Guido will harbor animosity toward her. Furthermore, the rumor that Leonard disguises himself as Arnold will make it harder for Arnold to operate undercover in the future. Seeing her sadness, Arnold softens and thanks her, acknowledging that she only did it to protect him. Finn smiles, promising to be much more careful next time. Arnold is surprised she expects a next time, and Finne asks if he will show her around the capital again. Arnold agrees, promising to wear a proper disguise next time. A few days later, Leonard and Arnold walk through the castle corridors. Arnold points out that all the imperial siblings currently in the capital have been called, a rare event that only happens once a year at most. He guesses their father has something major to report. Leonard hopes it is good news, but a pessimistic Arnold doubts it will be anything positive, wondering what lies ahead as they prepare to enter the meeting chamber. Stepping past the heavy doors into the grand meeting chamber, Leonard and Arnold take their places alongside their siblings. Chancellor Franz officially opens the senior ministers' meeting, calling the roll of the imperial royal family in attendance. Second Prince Eric, Second Princess Xandra, Third Prince Gordon, Fourth Prince Traugot, Fifth Prince Carlos, Sixth Prince Conrad, Seventh Prince Arnold, Eighth Prince Leonard, Ninth Prince Henrik, Third Princess Krista, and 10th Prince Rupert. He notes that only First Princess Marshal Lieselot is absent while guarding the border. Emperor Johannes thanks them all for gathering on short notice. Immediately, Gordon expresses his eagerness for war, proclaiming that he is ready to charge into enemy territory with the Empire's full military might. Emperor Johannes chuckles, noting Gordon never changes, but Xandra berates her brother as a mindless meathead. Gordon counters that a feeble mage cannot comprehend a warrior's honor in battle, threatening to crush her if she continues speaking, though Xandra mockingly offers to grant him that honor immediately. Seeing their heated exchange, Eric apologizes to the Emperor for their siblings' insolence. However, Emperor Johannes welcomes the rivalry, recalling that competition is how he claimed the throne himself. He then announces that he will have all the siblings compete against one another. Gordon excitedly assumes it will be a test of raw physical power, but the Emperor stops him, asking how he could fairly compare his strength against that of his 10-year-old brother, Rupert. He reveals that he is reviving a historic event from decades past, the Knights' Festival of the Hunt. Eric recognizes it as the competition where Imperial guards hunt the largest and rarest monsters. Chancellor Franz confirms this, explaining that while the event fell out of fashion due to skilled adventurers, local branches of the Adventurers Guild across the Empire are now struggling to keep up with monster threats and have happily approved the festival. Gordon demands that the winner be granted the title of Crown Prince, but Emperor Johannes rejects the request as inappropriate for a hunting competition, a sentiment Xandra echoes by stating it would make the Empire a laughingstock. Instead, the Emperor declares that the victor will receive the title of Ambassador Extraordinary. He explains that each prince and princess will be assigned a specific regiment, leaving it up to them whether they fight on the front lines or await victory in their own territories. Following their dismissal, Leonard and Arnold walk together through the hallway. Leonard suggests that Arnold should claim the title of Ambassador Extraordinary, but Arnold doubts his own ability to maintain positive diplomatic ties with foreign nations. Though Leonard expresses total confidence in him, Arnold insists he cannot win the hunt, leaving the responsibility to Leonard. Reminding himself that he must protect his mother Arnold and his loyal supporters, Leonard vows to win and asks Arnold to lend him his strength. Later that night, Arnold discusses the situation with his entourage inside his private quarters. Sebastian calls the Emperor's announcement a major headache, while Finney views it as a wonderful opportunity for Prince Leonard. Arnold agrees it is an opportunity, but warns that if rivals like Eric, Xandra, or Gordon win the title, Leonard will be forced completely out of the race for the throne. Sebastian reveals that the knights were caught completely off guard, proving the Emperor made this sudden decision in secret. Arnold notes that winning will depend on both skill and the luck of finding rare monsters, particularly in the eastern region where monster damage is worst and knights have not yet been deployed. He realizes his father deliberately allowed monsters to roam freely in the east, just to create a suitable venue for the festival. Finna naively suggests that Arnold should simply win the festival himself, but Sebastian reminds her that Arnold must continue feigning incompetence so he does not expose his true power. Arnold explains that revealing his strength would destroy his ability to operate in the shadows to make Leonard emperor. When Arnold jokingly suggests driving monsters to the east as his alter ego, Silver, Finn firmly forbids it, pointing out the harm it would cause to innocent civilians. Arnold reassures her that he would never actually do such a thing, and praises her strong moral heart. Sebastian teasingly asserts that Arnold loves Finn just the way she is, leaving Finn delighted. Sebastian then informs Arnold that the Adventurers Guild is urgently trying to contact Silver. The next day, Arnold dons his disguise and visits the guild as Silver. The receptionist begs him to handle an 8AA class mutant Cerberus that has already defeated several hunting parties. Silver accepts the request, inwardly complaining about the monster wandering into the Empire at such a busy time. Locating the Cerberus, Silver unleashes a massive wave of magic, obliterating the beast in a single strike. Before he can leave, Commanding Officer Elna von Armsburg arrives on horseback alongside her soldiers, demanding to know if Silver caused the massive explosion. Silver responds nonchalantly, prompting Elna to introduce herself as the commander of the 3rd Regiment. When Silver mockingly asks if the Archduke's daughter is visually impaired since the monster is clearly dead, Elna flies into a rage. She accuses him of letting his reputation as the guardian of the capital go to his head and challenging her family's prestige as the true defenders of the city. Silver replies that he never asked for the title and cares nothing for it, leading Elna to accuse him of insulting her family. Silver points out that her family is being petty by throwing a tantrum over praise given to others, and notes that her attempt to intercept a guild contract is the true disrespect. Seeing the escalating tension, one of Elna's soldiers steps in and advises her to stand down, admitting that the guild was within its rights and reminding her that they must hurry to the capital. Reluctantly backing off, Elna warns Silver never to forget that the Archduke's family, the knights, and the soldiers are the ones who protect the Empire. Silver sarcastically promises to remember, though he adds that he might immediately forget. Once she is gone, Silver drops his stern persona and laughs with immense satisfaction, thrilled that he finally managed to fluster Elna after growing up alongside her without ever winning an argument or fight. However, his excitement quickly fades into regret as he realizes he needlessly made a powerful enemy. A few days later, Arnold sits in his office with Sebastian, nervously wondering which regiment his father will assign to him. He desperately hopes it will not be Elna's unit. Sebastian reminds him that Elna is a true prodigy of the heroic Armsburg lineage who joined the regiment at 11 and became commander at 14. Arnold acknowledges her incredible battle prowess, but insists he cannot stand her personality, recounting how she saved him from bullies at age 7, only to call him a wimp, beat him up under the guise of training, and ruin his confidence forever. Suddenly, Elna barges into the office, demanding to know who he is calling a devil of a woman. She formally greets Arnold as the commanding officer assigned to his unit. When Arnold refuses to accept her assignment, Elna reveals she personally requested to work with him to set him straight. Ignoring his protests, she immediately drags him out for horsemanship training. The next morning, a thoroughly battered Arnold groans in pain, while Finney applies a soothing back massage. Sebastian reports that Elna agreed to delay their next session until the afternoon, though Arnold complains that she clearly does not understand the concept of rest. Finna praises Elna's reputation as the second coming of the hero, wondering if Silver is equally capable. Sebastian clarifies that Arnold specializes in ancient magic and lacks physical strength because he consistently skipped physical training, swordsmanship, and modern magic in his youth. Finn finishes the massage, and Sebastian notes that Elna's presence is actually a massive strategic advantage for Prince Leonard. Since Elna is widely recognized as the strongest knight, any victory Arnold achieves during the festival will be attributed entirely to her power, protecting Arnold's secret identity. Arnold agrees, confident that Elna's overwhelming strength guarantees their victory without requiring him to expose his true abilities. When Finn asks why Arnold still wants Leonard to win the ambassador title directly, Sebastian teasingly suggests that Arnold simply wants to avoid doing actual diplomatic work, warning him that Elna will scold him again. Arnold grumbles about her constant interference, prompting Finn to express envy over their close childhood bond. Arnold insists Elna is purely a nuisance. Right on cue, Elna enters the room unannounced once again. Claiming she brought medicine but seeing he is already fine, she demands they begin training immediately. Finn politely introduces herself, and Elna greets her before dragging a shouting Arnold back out to the training grounds. That night, a thoroughly exhausted Arnold rubs his aching muscles, muttering that he would rather fight a Cerberus than endure her drill sergeant regimen. Moving to a hidden mechanism, he uses his magic to open a secret doorway into an underground chamber where he greets his ancient spirit great-grandfather, marveling that the old man never tires of researching ancient magic. Inside the hidden chamber, the floating spirit of Arnold's great-grandfather, Gustav, reflects on how the true nature of magic remains a mystery, even after all these years. Arnold points out that Gustav's obsession with magic research led to his body being stolen by a demon and his soul being trapped inside a book, yet he still persists with his studies. Gustav casually admits he should not have let that happen. Arnold reminds him that the demon used his body to wreak havoc across the capital, causing royal family members to be banned from using ancient magic and forcing Arnold to hide his own abilities. Gustav counters that his sealing provided Arnold the unique opportunity to learn ancient magic, adding that the treasured silver mask has proven quite useful. Arnold agrees slightly. Calling his great-grandson ungrateful, Gustav urges him to state why he came. Arnold explains that his younger brother, Leonard, is caught in the vicious struggle for the throne. Gustav notes that capable people are naturally dragged into succession battles, where opposing forces risk assassination. He recalls Arnold's eldest brother, Wilhelm, suggesting he was likely murdered by a sibling or the Emperor himself. Shifting subjects, Arnold asks if any magic can manipulate monsters, noting the unusual spike in monster activity around the capital. Gustav clarifies that while magic can control a few creatures, controlling large herds requires an ancient magical tool known as a hamelin. He shows Arnold a page illustrating a pipe that, when blown with sufficient magic, attracts monsters across a vast distance. Arnold connects this to the Emperor's sudden revival of the Knights' Festival of the Hunt. Gustav finds Emperor Johannes' scheme amusing and asks about the prize. When Arnold mentions the title of Ambassador Extraordinary, he explains that he and Leonard must win, but a foe wielding the hamelin would make victory impossible. Gustav points out that anyone taking the extreme risk of drawing monsters to the capital wants far more than just a diplomatic title. Arnold realizes the situation is much deeper than a simple competition and asks how to stop the pipe. Gustav warns that the instrument must be destroyed directly, as its monster-attracting sound waves cannot easily be blocked. Since monster sightings increased well before the festival was announced, Arnold realizes their enemy planned to use the creatures for a larger plot regardless of the contest. Leaving the secret room, Arnold walks back toward his quarters when he suddenly senses an assassin lurking in the shadows. The assassin assures Arnold that he does not intend to kill him, only to ensure he cannot participate in the upcoming festival. Arnold remarks that Elna's involvement has made him a strong contender, so he cannot simply cooperate. Asking why Arnold is not making a move, the assassin suddenly finds himself trapped inside a powerful magical barrier. Stunned, the assassin realizes Arnold is not as useless as his public reputation suggests. Arnold assures the assassin that he will not kill him either, provided he reveals who allowed him inside the heavily guarded Imperial castle. The assassin boasts that he would rather die than betray his client and lunges for a surprise attack, believing Arnold let his guard down. Before he can strike, Sebastian appears, revealing he has already captured 3 other infiltrators and that this one is the last. Arnold thanks his butler and demands to know who ordered the attack. The assassin insists that even torture will not break him, but Arnold casts a subtle mind magic spell on him. Overcome with sudden horror, the assassin begs for forgiveness, screaming to a woman named Miss Xandra that he never betrayed her. Arnold observes that because Xandra tried to eliminate him directly before the competition, she is likely not the mastermind controlling the monsters, leaving Gordon, Eric, or another hidden player. He orders Sebastian to lock the assassins away for future leverage. Sebastian then informs Arnold that while he was busy suffering through Elna's relentless training, the venue for the festival was officially announced as Kiel, the largest town in the Eastern Territory. Half a month later, the bustling eastern city of Kiel is alive with excitement. Citizens cheer for passing knights, voicing their hope that the Imperial Guards will slay the monsters tormenting the region. Excitement mounts in the streets as word spreads of the Emperor's arrival, alongside the competing princes and princesses. Away from the main crowds, Arnold places a pair of enchanted glasses on Finn. He explains that the subtle magic will cause anyone who does not know her intimately to view her as an ordinary girl. Finn jokes that she is already just an ordinary girl, but puts them on and asks how she looks. Arnold reassures her that the glasses will prevent unwanted attention. Finn asks if he is sure he can spare time to walk with her given his busy schedule. Arnold tells her not to worry and asks if she wants to explore the food stalls. Delighted, Finn insists they must visit every single shop in town, and Arnold playfully agrees to try. A while later, a completely stuffed Finn slumps on a bench, declaring she cannot eat another bite. Arnold points out that she could have taken small samples at each stall instead of finishing every meal. Finn explains that leaving food behind would be disrespectful to the cooks, prompting Arnold to remark that such discipline is unexpected from a duke's daughter. Their rest is interrupted when they spot Leonard walking through the street accompanied by a group of knights. Finn wonders if he is attending to official matters, and Arnold notes that Leonard spent the previous days inspecting nearby villages, admiring his brother's strong work ethic. Spotting them, Leonard approaches and asks if they are on a date. Finn enthusiastically confirms it, while Arnold asks Leonard about his current task. Leonard reveals that a series of mysterious thefts has broken out across the town, despite the heavy presence of knights. Finn notes that the thieves are practically provoking the Emperor himself. Leonard adds that every regiment has been ordered to investigate, meaning Elna is likely patrolling nearby as well. Suddenly, two small rat-like creatures rub against Finn's feet. Finn finds them adorable, but Arnold asks Leonard to identify them. Leonard recalls seeing them years ago, recognizing them as Bletts. The playful creatures suddenly squirm up into Finn's clothing and inside the outfit of Leonard's accompanying maid, tickling them both. As the girls squirm, the Bletts snatch their valuable jewelry, including a precious hairpiece given to Finn by the Emperor, before scurrying away. Leonard goes to help his maid, while Arnold and Finn set off to track down the Bletts. Finn apologizes for causing more trouble when she intended to help him relax, but Arnold assures her that her presence keeps him grounded and promises to recover her hairpiece. Investigating the area, Arnold discovers a small phonostone hidden along the pathway. He explains that the device plays recorded female Blett calls at set intervals, guiding the male creatures along a specific route. Finn expresses deep anger that the thieves are manipulating innocent animal instincts for crime. Following the trail of phonostones toward the western side of town, they spot a Blett and track it directly to the thieves' hidden lair. Reaching the hideout, Arnold uses his magic to briefly take on the physical appearance of his twin brother Leonard. Approaching a group of nearby Imperial knights, he commands them to gather their forces immediately to raid the discovered hideout. The knights are deeply impressed by Prince Leonard's quick work and rush off to execute the order. They quickly arrest the entire band of thieves. Entering the hideout, Arnold spots Finn's stolen hairpiece among the recovered loot. When the guards hesitate to let him touch evidence before investigators arrive, Arnold, still disguised as Leonard, uses his royal authority, subtly warning the guards that admitting the Emperor's gift was stolen under their watch would bring severe punishment. The terrified knights immediately agree to keep quiet and turn a blind eye. Walking away from the scene, Arnold sheds his disguise and mentions that they just need to report the outcome to Leonard. Finny expresses her heartfelt gratitude, telling Arnold that even if the public remains unaware of his efforts, she will always recognize his brilliance and capabilities. Their conversation is cut short when they come across Elna scolding two drunkards fighting in the street. Elna demands that the men stop fighting and shake hands, but when the angry men tell her to get lost, she beats them both up and continues berating them, while her panicked soldiers try to restrain her. Wanting to avoid her overbearing presence, Arnold urges Finn to slip away quietly, noting he will be stuck dealing with her during the festival tomorrow regardless.